Yeah, and the conscious mind is the creative mind. That's subconscious habits that we record, conscious, creative. Tell me what you want from your life. Well, that's a question that requires a creative answer. I want to be happy. I want to be healthy. I want to make money. Which mind has that in it? I say, oh, it's creative. That's conscious mind. So I say our wishes, our desires, what we want, that's conscious mind. But now we find out that the conscious mind can not only be creative, but it can think. So what does that mean? I say, well, thinking is not watching outside. Thinking is going inside. So if I ask you right now, I say, well, hey, tell me what you're doing on Sunday at 2:00. Well, the answer is not out here. The answer is in here. So you have to think. But the moment you're thinking, then the conscious is no longer looking outwards. The conscious is now looking inwards. I say, oh, so the moment you're thinking, you're not paying attention. I go, right, because the thought, the attention is going inside to the thought. In other words, let's say you're driving the car and you have a passenger in the car and your conscious mind is talking. So you have a dialogue. You're talking to your passenger. Oh, yeah, blah, 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 blah. And then you look out the window and you realize you haven't paid attention to the road for 5 minutes because you've been talking. Where's your conscious mind? It's focused on talking. Who drove the car? Because you weren't paying attention. I go, the subconscious is autopilot. Conscious mind is directed somewhere else, like the pilot in the plane gets up out of the seat. He puts on autopilot. The autopilot will make sure the plane stays. When your conscious mind is busy, whether you're talking to somebody or thinking, then your behavior doesn't stop. If you're walking down the street and then you have a thought, doesn't mean you stop and then wait for the thought. You can keep walking down the street or driving the car. Now, let's go back to the car story for a second, because here's the cool part. So you're driving the car, you have a conversation, you look out the window and you say, oh, I haven't paid attention to the road for the last few minutes. So now I ask you 2 questions. Tell me what your conversation was about. And you go, oh, we talked about this and this and this, because your conscious mind was focused on that. Mm-hmm. But then I say, then tell me what was on the road for the 5 minutes. What was happening on the road? And you go, I don't know, I wasn't paying attention. Well, I said, well, you didn't hit anything and apparently you're still driving. I go, yeah, the autopilot subconscious took over. But now here's the problem. When the subconscious took over, it took over because the conscious mind was busy, okay? Now the problem is this, you didn't see the behavior of the driving. You didn't see what was on the road. It just drove. So now let's take it back and put it in a personal life. My conscious mind's creative, it's got all the wishes and desires. And when I'm driving with a conscious mind, I'm going toward wishes and desires. But if I start thinking, which is 95% of the day, I let go of the wheel, because now I'm going inside, I am thinking, and autopilot takes over, subconscious. So the behavior that you are playing when your conscious mind is thinking, and that's 95% of the day, the behavior is coming from the subconscious. I go, did you see the behavior? I say, no, because I was thinking. I said, well, what's the behavior? I said, whatever you downloaded from your parents, that was the program. So if you got bad driving instructions from your driving teacher and you get carried away in the conversation, when the automatic pilot is going to drive the car, it's going to drive it just as bad as the bad instructions, okay? Right. But you won't see it.